लाभा गिरिवर धारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यमुनतीरावनचारी Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रेमानंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हृदयामज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। विश्वाल बलराम पूर्णिमा। So many qualified devotees here, so I'm just going to try and glorify Lord Balaram to the extent of my purity. I seek all the blessings so that I can speak the message as it is. Call Prabhu, how do I unblock your phone? This face ID 0. Okay. With iPhone, I'm technically challenged. Okay, so we will start with prayers to Lord Balaram. So this prayer actually, apparently there is no clarity as to where this prayer has come from. If somebody knows, you can tell me, so there will be some information for me. And there are two versions of this prayer with certain slightly different words. So I'm going to chant whatever I found it more relatable. Namaste Hanagraha Namaste Nishamayudha Namaste Ragati Kanta Namaste Bhakta Vatsala Namaste Balaram Shashta. Namaste Dharamdara. Pralambara Namaste Stu. Pralambara Namaste Stu. Trahanam Krishna Purvajan. So very beautiful. So summarizes Lord Balaram's position. Title this. Namaste Halagraha. So what are the two, what can we say? Not weapons, two instruments or accessories of Lord Balarama. What are they called? One is Hala. What is Hala? Plow. What do we use plow for? So he is the first farm acharya. But he actually used the plow for something else. Yeah, but when he was manifesting this Ridhan, he used it to actually also destroy all the asuras. Okay. Then he also has Mushala. What is Mushala? Yeah, club. It's some different type of club I read somewhere. Not clear description, but yeah, club. So the holder of plow, holder of Mushala club. So offering their offering obeisances. Namaste Revati Kanta. So who is Revati? Yeah, who is she? Daughter of Revati. So actually in the description, there are two personalities in Revati. One is actually Nagalakshmi, who actually enters the body of Revati. So I'll describe that later. Namaste Bhakta Vatsala. So Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. Balaram is not different from Krishna. So he's also Bhakta Vatsala. And we will also understand in what way he loves his devotees. Namaste Balinam Shrestha. So this has two versions, Balanam Shrestha, Balinam Shrestha. So he's the greatest of all powerful people. Balinam Shrestha. Namaste Dharani Dhara. So he upholds all the universes without even one knowing where they are floating in his, above his hoods. Pralambare Namaste. So Lord Balaram doesn't do many asura samhara. So just one is Pralambasura and the other is Venukasura. So here it's being described Pralambare Namaste. Prahinam Krishna Purvaja. Actually he is Krishna Purvaja only in this Leela. Isn't it? Otherwise he comes as Krishna Purvaja. So we are So Lord Balaram is very central to our devotional life. So today we are going to discuss certain aspects of the glories of Lord Balaram. So first is who is Balaram, which we are going to hear from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then we will discuss about appearance of Balaram. The appearance of Balaram comes from, there are two phases of appearance. So the first one is when Brahma and all the demigods go to Lord Krishna. So that is the first part, trigger of the appearance, and then his appearance itself in this material world. After that, then we will understand significance of Lord Balaram in our spiritual life, and finally we will discuss pastimes. Okay, so hopefully 50%, 50%. Because if we do too much philosophy, people say, give us some results. So we are giving two tattvas. What is first tattva is called? Bhagavad tattva. The second one is little bit rasa tattva and rasa. Okay, so we'll cover these things today. So before we start, famous Dashavatara Stotra. So we can see Balaram's glorification from that, and then we will start. Vashi Vishadeva Jaladavam Vasiva Pushi Vasanam Jaladavam Alahati Bhiti Militayamunabam Alahati Bhiti Militayamunabam. Vapushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladabam. Vasanam means whatever clothes, garments he wears is Jaladabam. Jaladabam. So it is fresh color of cloud, fresh blue rain cloud. Halahati, due to striking of the hala. Bhiti, somebody felt great fear. Milita, Yamunabam, who felt fear. Yamuna Devi felt fear. Keshavadrita Haladadarupa, who has accepted this form of where he holds wielder of plow. Jai Jagadisha Hare. So, who is Balaram? So I'm going to read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 5.4 to 5.8. Sarva Avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tahare Ditiya Deha Shri Balarama. Sarva Avatari Krishna. Krishna is Avatari, or the originator of all avatars. And he is Swayam Bhagavan. He is Swayam Bhagavan. How many Krishnas are there? This is a topic for discussion of Janmashtami, but how many Krishnas are there? Huh? Huh? How many Krishnas are there? Are Baba, we are in ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Huh? Akela. Ekela. Okay. What about any other answers? Is one Krishna or more Krishnas? Who appears in front of Devaki and Vasudeva? Vasudeva? Krishna. No, you are saying Vasudeva Krishna. So Krishna, there's only one Krishna, Swayam Krishna, who is called Shama Sundara Krishna. Right? Who comes from Krishna? Or the first expansion from Krishna is Balaram. So Dvitiya Deha, Tahara Dvitiya Deha. Dvitiya Deha means second body. Second body, what does that mean? What does second body mean? If the body is second, then what is one? Yeah, like soul, as in for Lord, there is no difference between the body and soul. But pretty much, Balaram actually has all the power, potencies, emotions, feelings, everything that Krishna has. He's actually non-different.
but is also non-different, right? Which is why without Achintya Bheda, Abheda, we cannot understand any Bhagavad Tattva. But he is non-different. So he's a second body. He's a second body. Then Eka is Swarupa, Dohe Bhinna Matra Kaya, Adya Kaya Vyuha Krishna Lilara Sahaya. The two are one and the same identity. It's like saying there's no difference between Radha and Krishna, isn't it? Radha and Krishna are one, but they've eternally separated for their pastimes. So similarly, Krishna and Balaram are one, but they are eternally separate. But they have the same identity, but they have separated. Hmm. They differ only in form. Lord Balarama is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So there are two Bhagavans here. One is called Sevya Bhagavan. Who is Sevya Bhagavan? And then there is Sevak Bhagavan. Sevak Bhagavan is Balaram. Right? We have two paths in bhakti. One is called Pancharatriki and the other is called Bhagavata Vidhi. What is the significance of Bhagavata Vidhi? I'm just digressing. Bhagavata Vidhi is a process of Shravanam and Kirtanam, right? And in this Shravanam and Kirtanam, Shravanam about the Lord is not different from the Lord, correct? Right? This is an etiquette that when Bhagavatam class is going on and when the altar is open, unless the speaker bows, the hearer should not bow. Because we are actually glorifying Krishna. So which means we have to break this glorification and then offer obeisances to the Lordship. So it's normally not recommended to bow down when Bhagavatam class is going on. We can offer, we're actually glorifying the Lord by doing Shravanam. So we have to make note because we think that the Lord is present there, right? But the Lord is present here in Shravanam. So this is just a point to note. Okay, so he's Sevak Bhagavan. He's Sevak Bhagavan. So he helps or assists Krishna in all his transcendental pastimes. Of course, there's a difference in bodily structure, which we will come to. But so we should understand. So from Krishna, first Balaram expands, Balaram comes. And from Balaram, who comes? Chaturvyuha. This Chaturvyuha is called Dwaraka Chaturvyuha. Isn't it? Are we aware of this? This Chaturvyuha can, normally they are in 200 form. They are not in 400 form, normally. The first Chaturvyuha is in 200 form. The second Chaturvyuha is always 400 form. But this Chaturvyuha can also manifest 4 ends. As Vasudeva manifested in front of Vasudeva and Devaki. Okay. So they are 200 forms and they are present in Dwaraka. So who is present in Dwaraka? Krishna is Vasudeva. Balaram is Sankarshana. And then Krishna's son Pradyumna and Pradyumna's son Aniruddha. So these are the original personalities of Godhead, original Chaturvyuha, who are present eternally in 200 form in Dwarka. From this Sankarshana, who comes? Narayana. Who is Narayana? Who is in Vaikuntha? Some of these basic questions we have to be clear. Who is in Vaikuntha? Okay, 2 options, Narayana or Vishnu. Huh? Okay, where is Vishnu? Okay, Vishnu is in Vaikuntha. I was trying to put a trick question. See, technically, we have to answer these questions very technically. Outside, when we go to ordinary people, they have no difference. They don't differentiate between Narayana and Vishnu. But we should know the difference. Though normally, these names are all interchangeable. For example, now in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is described Shesha, but he's calling him Balarama, he's calling him Sankarshana, he's calling him all names. because in one sense they're not different, but they're also different. So Narayana is the one who is there in Vaikuntha. Narayana and Lakshmi Devi. Who comes from Narayana? Second Chaturvyuha. The second Chaturvyuha is the four armed forms. And from these, Srila Prabhupada discusses there are 24 forms which are manifest, etc. Right? Of course, there are unlimited forms in the Vaikuntha world. All of them having their own planets. All of them have their own planets. Now, from this second Sankarshana, who comes? Mahavishnu. Who is Mahavishnu? From whom all these, innumerable universes are coming out. And from Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. So, we should understand that Balaram, as Sankarshana, is the cause of both the material and spiritual worlds. He is the original cause of both the material and spiritual worlds. So this is being described here. But though he is not different from Krishna, he keeps himself in the background. See, you see whole of Bhagavatam, 10th canto. How much glorification of Balaram happens? Balaram prefers to be in the background because he considers himself as sevak. But what we try to do in the material world, we want to come in front, isn't it? This spiritual master comes or some great Vaishnavas come. Where do we want to? We want to come in front of them. But the mode of Balaram is to remain in the background. He doesn't want to take limelight. He wants to give the limelight to Krishna all the time. We'll go through so many pastimes in, Raja pastimes, and everywhere we see that actually, more or less, Balaram is taking a back seat. He's giving Krishna the limelight. Because he is always in the mood of a servant. He's always in the mood of servant. And this is very, very important to us because in this material world, unfortunately, we all want to be masters. Isn't it? Any examples how we are trying to be masters? We are trying to enjoy every piece of whatever. That's why Prabhupada said, whatever we survey. What does this survey means? What is the meaning of survey? It doesn't mean that, construction we have to take some measuring tape and measure. Survey means anything we encounter, anything we come across, we want to lord it over. Anything we come across. And only when we come in Krishna consciousness, we little bit start developing this thought process saying that I am not the master. But Balaram is the epitome of that servitorship or servant mode. So this is very, very important because that is why, Balaram is the most important personality for us in our spiritual life. He's the most important personality. Right? We'll talk about that. Low power mode. Balaram assumes 5 forms, 5 other forms to serve Krishna. What are those? Sankarshana, Mula Sankarshana. Then 3 we discussed. Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and then Shesha. So in these 4 forms, Sankarshana and the 3 Purusha avatars, he is taking care of creation. He is taking care of creation. In this, as Shesha, he is giving personal service to Krishna. Okay, these are all the same verses. I don't know how does this get locked or gets any. Oh. Yeah, Shesha is responsible for personal service, and Shesha is called Ananta. Ananta means unlimited. The Lord is unlimited, and to serve Him also, servitor should be unlimited. So Shesha is unlimited, and is in unlimited ways He is serving the Lord. He does personal service, right? So what are personal service? For example, Krishna's clothes. Krishna doesn't wear slippers, but wherever he wears his slippers, his Brahmin thread, for example, everything that we use in the service of Krishna is a manifestation of Balaram's potency. That is why we say when you're putting mat, we have a normal habit of pulling it with our legs. We should remember saying that even if it is prasadam mats, you're rolling prasadam mats, don't. Please don't use your leg. Everything is a potency of Balaram enabling us to serve Krishna. Even in deity worship, for example, you're not supposed to do deity worship without standing on the mat. It's an offense. It's a seva aparadha. Because we by ourselves cannot serve Krishna, and it's only through the medium of Balaram, through Shesha, actually we can do any personal service to Krishna. Deity worship is personal service. And it happens only through the potency of Balaram. So this is also very important. So can you unlock this forever? I don't know how to unlock this. Prabhu. Can you just unlock this? Otherwise, I have to keep doing this. Okay, so he is generally Balaram is considered as the elder brother, but we also know he is actually appears also as younger brother, right? So when Krishna or appears as Lord Ramachandra, then Balaram appears as Lakshman. Now it's actually described in Ramayana. Rama takes so many decisions in his Rama Leela, which actually Lakshmana was not able to accept. Right? He was feeling pain. He was very pain. Dasharatha comes and tells Rama, go to the forest. And Lakshmana is seething with anger. He's saying, I'm going to kill that Dasharatha. He doesn't even say my father. He says, I'm going to kill that Dasharatha. You take over. You take over the throne. You become the king. And Rama is saying, no, this is not, this is adharma. I am doing my dharma. It is following the orders of my father. So we are not supposed to do this. So then Lakshman had to keep quiet. And then so many things happen. Multiple times Lakshmana is not happy with the decisions. And eventually he really, gets very upset when Rama actually banishes Sita after she has come back, after all this, all the trial, and then finally, just because somebody said that, I don't accept my wife who stayed in some Parapurusha's house, and Rama just banishes Sita when she is pregnant, when she is carrying children in her womb. And that most difficult task of going and leaving Sita Mata in Valmiki's ashram was given to Lakshman. And he couldn't say no because he was also following Dharma, which was to follow the orders of his elder brother. So all this actually, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj is written in his book Balaram, and I've also read somewhere that Lakshman actually becomes very upset. He says, I don't want to become younger brother of Krishna again. Next time I come, I want to become elder brother. I want to dictate to Krishna. I don't want to listen to what he has to say. Because in Vedic culture, elder brother has to be, we have to respect, follow the orders of elder brother, irrespective of whether it is right, wrong, whatever. So he says, no, when next avatar, when Krishna comes, I'm going to be his elder brother. So normally, still, even though he's being elder brother, it's not that he's bossing over Krishna, but in a very subtle way. In a very subtle way. In this appearance as Balaram, actually, there's a very, very sweet relationship between Krishna and Balaram, which is not publicly depicted in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're going to discuss some of these. Now, first is we will hear about Lord Balarama's appearance. So this is from Garga Samhita. In Garga Samhita, it said, Mother Earth went to Brahmaji saying, describing her distress, and then Brahmaji with all the demigods. Bhagavatam, what does Bhagavatam say? Where did they go? They went to Shweta Dvipa. Who is there in Shweta Dvipa? Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. But Garga Samhita says something else. Garga Samhita says that they actually all went beyond the material world. They went beyond the material world, beyond the coverings of this material universe. They crossed the Karana ocean. And then they see a 1,000-headed Ananta. 1,000-headed Ananta, full of effulgence. They are not able to see anything. Like we say, Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapitam mukam tattvam pushana pavrano satya dharmaya drishte. Then Ananta shows mercy on them and kind of, makes himself visible. And Garga Samhita says that in the coils of Ananta, Brahma sees Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yamuna, Gopas and Gopis, which means Vrindavan is in the coils, the body of Ananta. And then Brahmaji actually takes all the demigods and they get the rare opportunity of seeing Swayam Krishna in a kunja in Vrindavan. So they go to Krishna and then Brahma reveals their distress, their problem. And then Garga Samhita says that Krishna then in very sweet words pacified demigods and told them, don't worry, I will take care of the matter. And then he turns towards the 1,000-headed Ananta and gives an instruction. So he tells Ananta, saying, I am going to appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. But you please appear before my appearance in the womb of Devaki, and then you will be transferred to the womb of Rohini. So he is just telling Ananta about his future appearance in the material world to take care of the work of the demigods. That's all Krishna tells to Ananta Shesha. And then Ananta Shesha goes to his own assembly. Okay, which is where there isn't a very clear difference between Ananta Shesha and Balaram. Now, in further description, it is said that in the assembly, there are different Vaikunthas. There's description of different Vaikunthas, and it is said that different Anantas from different Vaikunthas merge into the body of Balaram, including this. There's some Ajita Vaikuntha, there are some different Vaikuntha names described, saying that all of them entered into the body of Balaram. And then Balaram then tells all his associates, saying that I am going to manifest all of you, please appear in different positions in the Yadu dynasty to enable the pastime of the Lord. And then he sends all his associates. Now then he talks to some very dear associates. First he talks to his Nagapatnis. His Nagapatnis, because he's in the form of a snake, so he has Nagapatnis. And the Nagapatnis are feeling separation from the Lord, saying that, Lord, if you go there, we also want to come. And then Balaram tells them, saying that you appear as gopis in the wombs of the cowherds of Vrindavan. And who are these gopis? These gopis are the ones with whom Balaram does Rasa Leela. So in Vrindavan, there are two sets of gopis, right? One who is dear to Krishna, or who consider Krishna as their eternal consort, or Priyatama, and then there are other gopis who are Balarams. So these gopis are the Nagapatnis. Then also Nagalakshmi comes, his wife. Nagalakshmi comes, and then she says, Lord, what about me? Please engage me also in your service when you appear there. And then Lord tells Nagalakshmi, saying that go and appear or enter into the body of Revati, who's already appeared. So Nagalakshmi enters into the body of Devaki. Now, one thing we have to understand, all the manifestations of the various associates of Krishna in Bhauma Vrindavan have two amshas. There's one amsha which is the original amsha from Goloka. Now, all these original amshas from Goloka expand into, they have their own existence in Swarga. It's their expansions. And so when these forms actually appear in Bhauma Vrindavan, two forms merge into these forms. One is the Amsha of the original Brajavasis in Goloka, and also the Daiva Amsha. So there's a lot of technicality. So when Moshala Leela happens, or when that fratricidal war happens, when all the Yadus are fighting with each other, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that who are the ones who go to Prabhasa? Only the Daiva Amsha go to Prabhasa. The Goloka, the original Amshas, actually they remain in Dwarka. They don't go. And the fighting and so-called death actually happens of the Daiva Amshas. And they leave their bodies and then they go back to their services in Swarga. But the original Amshas, they go back to their eternal abodes when the Lord closes his pastimes. So similarly, here also when Revati is appearing, so there is Nagalakshmi and then there is also a personality from Swarga who is come. So both of them are there. And then very, out of the way, there is a demon called Nivata Kavacha. What of Nivata Kavacha? Who kills him? Arjuna. So this Nivata Kavacha is actually Kali Raja. So he also comes to Balaram. He's also serving Balaram, isn't it? Everybody is serving Balaram. Kali Yuga has to come. So he has to serve. So Lord says, okay, go. No, but he comes in one more form. Before he comes, manifests as Kali Purusha, as Duryodhana. So Duryodhana is the manifestation of that Nivata Kavacha, who is actually called Kali Raja. And Balaram tells him, don't worry, I will give you my association. How? I will teach you Gada Yuddha, Gada, the art of warfare. So like this, so many associates of Balaram. So we can see the whole, while in Srimad Bhagavatam says, okay, Krishna gave the order saying that everybody manifests and everybody manifests. But who carries out the order? Who carries out the order? So Balaram carries out the order of Krishna's appearance, of whatever has to be set up before Krishna comes. So this is one part of appearance of Balaram. Now the second very sweet pastime is from Gopala Champu, where actually the Lord's manifestation. Okay, so one thing before that, we know that there were 6 sons who were born to Devaki and Vasudeva. Who are those? 6 sons of Kalanemi who were Marichi's sons. So you know all that is. And then our acharyas say that these 6 sons are representatives of 6 anarthas. They are called Shadgarbhasuras. Right? Now, once they are killed, then who appears in the womb of Devaki? Balaram appears. Now, Gopala Champu says Balaram appears. Why? To set up the place for Krishna's appearance. But then Balaram leaves Shesha behind to take care of the personal service of Krishna within the womb, and he gets transferred to Rohini's womb. Okay? So who remains in Devaki's womb is actually Ananta Shesha. But there's no birth. He just remains to just give service to Krishna when Krishna enters into Devaki. And Balaram, now before Balaram actually is transferred to the womb of Rohini, actually Rohini is already sent by Vasudeva to Nanda Maharaj, to Nanda Bhavan, to Gokul. She goes in the 3rd month of her pregnancy. So she's already pregnant. 3rd month, she goes there riding a horse. Kshatriya. So she goes in the third month. She goes to Gokul riding a horse, and then Yashoda and Rohini become very dear to each other. It's like, and everybody who sees Gopala Champu says everybody who saw Rohini were actually filled with bliss. She was such a personality, very great personality, very very critical role she plays in Krishna Lila. Then what happens in the 7th month of Devaki's pregnancy? What happens? Now Yogamaya transfers Balaram from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. Now this fetus, so-called, is already 7 months old. But he has to wait for Krishna to appear, or just around that time. So when does Rohini actually give birth, so-called birth to Balaram? 14th month. 14th month of pregnancy, Rohini actually gives birth to Balaram just few days before Krishna's appearance. Just few days. Now there's a reason for this. Actually, when Balaram appears, and then there's beautiful description of Balaram, fair complexioned, blue dress. Then he has what kind of hair? Curly, dark hair. And he's like compared to a full moon. It's compared to a full moon. What is the beauty of full moon? We don't know. We can't understand what is the beauty of full moon, but it far surpasses. But just for our understanding, there's some other description of Radharani where they are saying she is more beautiful than a full moon, than golden lotus, and there's one more. Some three things she's compared to. And Jiva Goswami says that her beauty far excels all these, which are considered to be the most beautiful objects in the material world. Anyway, so Balaram is so beautiful, but he is very sad. Balaram appears from the womb. Balaram's name is Rama. Rama means one who gives pleasure. And he appears from the womb of Rohini, and he's in distress. He's sad. Why is he sad? Because Krishna is not there. And Gopalachampu says that the only time that Balaram used to be happy was when he used to go sit near Yashoda, because he knows that Krishna is there. This is the mode of separation. Actually, the whole of Braja Leela, when we are seeing, the manifestation of that deep separation from Krishna, actually that we cannot understand it. One moment is like multiple yugas. They just can't be happy without Krishna. And I was just thinking about my own fallen condition, that I'm so happy in this material world, far from Krishna, just trying to enjoy everything of this material world. But the dear devotees, dear associates of Krishna, they can't even stay for a moment without Krishna. And of all personalities, Balaram is distressed, is in anxiety. He's looking forward to Krishna's appearance because he wants to serve Krishna. There's no other reason for all these personalities to exist. Why should Balaram exist? There's no need for Balaram's existence. He's there only to serve Krishna. And for them, their existence is based on this. Like it's the most important aspect of their existence is to serve Krishna. And the whole creation, right? Starting from Balaram down, everybody is supposed to serve Krishna, except be some very great souls who fallen from that position. But still we think we are very great, correct? If somebody says, tell us to do some service, we'll say, you know who I am? Who are we? We should say, I am this great personality who's left Krishna service, fallen from the spiritual world into this material world. I'm so great. Everybody else is there in the spiritual world and hankering, looking for various ways to serve Krishna and to please Krishna. So Balaram is so unhappy, and Balaram just becomes so happy on the appearance of Krishna. So this is about appearance of Balaram, right? So till what time we have? It's already 9. Till what time is the class? 10? I am happy, I can go on. I have some very interesting snippet to read from Gopalachandra. 9:30, Prabhu, you disappointed. Okay, so we'll try. Yeah, so Balaram's description saying his face was like a moon, his eyes were like lightning, hair was like a rain cloud, complexion like white autumn cloud, effulgence like the sun. Sun, cloud, let rainbow also come in, everything is there. So, yeah. Yeah, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks about this appearance of Balaram in the womb of Devaki. He says that we have all these anarthas in our hearts, and by the process of sadhana bhakti, we have to get rid of these anarthas. But the appearance of pure devotional service or actual Krishna consciousness starts only after the appearance of Balaram in our life. Who is that Balaram? Guru. Right? Balaram's potency manifests in Guru. So only when Guru comes into our life, actually, our Krishna consciousness will awaken. Right? So just few things about initiation. Right? Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. So what is the meaning of this Atma Samarpan? So what is this saying? Saying at the time of initiation, Bhakta, devotee, does Atma Samarpan. What is the meaning of this Atma Samarpan? In very simple terms. What does Atma Samarpan means? What does one do at the time of initiation? What should one do? Take a vow to follow instructions, okay? How? Okay. Yeah, some more answers. Simple question, right? Initiation, what should one do at the time of initiation? Surrender to Guru, okay? What does it mean? Huh? Following all the instructions. Okay, I'm going to make this little simple. We have to give up our independence. What is the meaning of initiation? Initiation means we have to give up independence. But what should we retain? Intelligence. The two things. We have to give up independence, but we have to retain intelligence. We have to give up independence means what? Once we have been accepted by a bona fide spiritual master as his disciple by his great mercy, all the decisions in the life of a bhakta should be driven by the Guru. Meaning, I don't independently take any decision in my life. This is surrender. This is surrender. Without this surrender, that initiation has no meaning. And please understand why this is. What is the reason we are struggling in this miserable material world? We say misuse of our independence. How do we make the proper use of our independence? We ourselves don't have the ability to do that because we are conditioned fallen souls. So the only way our independence can be properly used is by the direct instruction of Guru. So that is initiation. And when this happens, this is the beginning of this destruction of all these anarthas in the heart and manifestation of actual Krishna consciousness. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is talking about this. Now Balaram serves Krishna in all the rasas. We all know about this, right? Shanta, how does he serve Krishna as Shanta? Actually, as both the material and spiritual worlds. In Shanta, he is serving the Supreme Lord by manifesting himself as the material and spiritual worlds. See, please understand, spiritual world is a playground for Krishna. Krishna plays, literally playground, right? So that whole situation of the spiritual world is manifested by Sankarshan using the spiritual energy. But it is done by Balaram. So these verses are there in Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. We don't have time. In chapter 20, you can read this. 252 onwards. Actually, very nice technical discussion is there. So there are three Shaktis is describing there. Icha Shakti, Gnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Icha Shakti is Krishna himself. Icha Shakti is the potency of Krishna. Krishna has to desire. Then Gnana Shakti is Vasudeva and Kriya Shakti is Sankarshana. So anyway, so there's nice discussion there you can see. And then Krishna serves in Dasya. We know Krishna and Balaram are always together most of the times in Rajalila. Then Krishna serves as in Dasya and also Sakhya. So Dasya and Sakhya, see this is again Rasa Tattva. In this we should understand all higher rasas are the foundation of all higher rasas is Dasya. Right? So all higher rasas, though they manifest in different ways for the pleasure of the Lord, their foundation is Dasya, meaning they're all there to just serve. So one small example of Dhenukasura, right? Why does Krishna and Balaram go to Talavan at all? Why do they go? What do the friends say? They said, we want the fruits. Did they want the fruits? Whom did they want the fruits? Whom did they want to feed the fruits? They wanted to feed the fruits to Krishna Balaram. But if you go and tell Krishna Balaram saying, we'll go to Raja Krishna Prabhu and say, Raja Krishna Prabhu, please, you eat, what is your best prasadam? What does he like? Bhakri. Okay, so come on. Balaram Purnima, some interesting something. Okay, Bhakri. So you go and tell Prabhu, say, Prabhu, please, you take Bhakri. He'll say, no, I don't want, I am not hungry. But you say, Prabhu, no, I am very hungry. I want Bhakri. Then what will do? Prabhu will do, immediately go. He'll arrange for Bhakri. And then you say, Prabhu, you please take. This is the mood of Sakhas in Raja. They don't do anything for their pleasure. They do everything for Krishna's pleasure. But when we hear it, because we are still in enjoying mentality, it seems to us that they are trying to enjoy. But they are not enjoying. And this is the mode of Balaram also. Okay. So Sakhya, Dasya, and then Vatsalya. So many things to say. Anyway, so there's one very beautiful pastime of how Balaram tries to manifest his Vatsalya. Anybody knows? Okay, no. There he was fighting with Krishna. Or at least that's what Krishna's version was. So this beautiful pastime of Damodar. So this again, so many of these are coming from Gopala Champu. So you all know Damodar Lila, so I'm not going to go and describe Damodar Lila. So what happens? So Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, right? Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, and then she leaves Krishna with the martyr, and then some of Krishna's friends have come there, and then Mother Yashoda goes inside her house. It was festival, and she had so many things to do, etc. She just goes in. Now Balaram comes. Balaram comes and sees Krishna. Krishna has been bound up. Balaram becomes angry. Balaram is asking, who bound Krishna? And Krishna says, Maya. Yashoda Maya bound Krishna. So Krishna, okay, Balaram now anger, no, he has to subdue his anger. Okay, so somehow he subdues his anger and then he goes to Yashoda Maya. He goes to Yashoda Maya. Yashoda Maya, you know whom you are bound? Yeah, he is Swayam Bhagavan. He manifests all this creation. You know, all the universes come out of him. All the avatars come out of him. So he is glorifying the supreme position of Krishna. Yashoda Maya is hearing. Then he says, she is not reacting at all. So Balaram thought, if I tell all this, Yashoda Maya will react. She is not reacting. Then Balaram starts glorifying himself also, saying that, you know who I am. I manifest all these universes through Krishna, this, that, and all. So he's saying all this. Then Yashoda says, looks like all the avatars have to come to my house only. She's not taking him serious at all. She's saying, looks like all avatars have to come to my house. Okay, if your Krishna was so great, why did he get bound? Why did he get bound? So she's not ready to accept what Balaram is saying. So then she says, okay, so let me do one thing. You are also very powerful personality. No, let me bind you also. So then Balarama runs from there. He says, oh, Are Papa. Then he goes to Krishna. Krishna, I keep telling you, don't do things like this. See, you got bound, I would also got bound now. So here Balaram is went to try and protect Krishna. But of course, Yashoda's Vatsalya love of Krishna is so deep, so that Balaram failed in his attempt, and then Krishna had to remain bound. So like this, so many instances where Balarama manifests his Vatsalya bhav to protect Krishna. And then Madhurya, we all know how Balaram is serving in Madhurya. Ananga Manjari. So he serves. Anyway, we are not going to that discussion. So we know in Braja, what is Balaram called? What is he normally called? Dauji. What is Dauji? Who calls him Dauji? Krishna calls him Dauji. Rohini is not going to call him Dauji, right? So what is Krishna? What is he called in Braja? Okay, what is Krishna called in Braja? Huh? You want the secret? Should I reveal the secret? Krishna is called Kanu. You know what Radharani is called? Huh? This is for 31st August secret being revealed today. She's called Rai. Rai and Kanu. What is Balaram called? Balaram is called Rama. He's never called Balarama. He's called Rama. So it is Rama Krishna. Rama Krishna. In Braja, Rama Krishna. When they call Krishna and Balaram together, it is Rama Krishna. And Rai and Kanu is very intimate devotees only call. So this Rama, so anyway, that was aside. Balaram is Adi Guru. We spoke about this. Actually, so Balaram actually manifests his potency through the Guru. He manifests his potency through the Guru. So which is why Guru is the representative of Balaram, and unless we, like I said, surrender to Guru with that mood of giving up our freedom, we cannot get the full mercy of Balaram. And the full mercy of Balaram automatically manifests when we follow the instructions of Guru in a very submissive way. Sometimes many devotees think that, how does my Guru come to know what I am doing? We have to glorify ourselves. What if we glorify ourselves in front of the Guru? It's a seva aparad. Did you know it's a seva aparad? It's a seva aparad in Varaha Purana. Please read 8th chapter of Nectar of Devotion to glorify ourselves in front of the Guru. Some offense. So actually it happens through Paramatma, right? So we don't have to go and glorify ourselves. And simply by following the instructions of Krishna, of Guru, automatically the mercy will flow. It's automatic. We don't have to do anything else. And we will see the manifestation of that mercy is that we become more, nishtha, more fixed in our devotion. Our devotional sentiments become better. We don't see Krishna as, some idol. We serve with that mood, with the proper mood. And that is all manifestation of the mercy of Guru. So I'm not going to go into that. We have just 15 minutes. Just one thing on this day, that all of us who want to make spiritual progress, all of us want to make spiritual progress? Yeah. So in third chapter, end of third chapter, what is that verse? Last verse of third chapter? Anybody remembers? Evam. Evam buddhe param buddha samstapyatmanam atmanam jai shatru mahabahu kamarupam turasadam. So in this verse, actually, if you read the translation, Prabhupada is saying by spiritual strength. Prabhupada is saying, how do we overcome lust? He's saying by spiritual strength, in brackets, by Krishna consciousness. So this spiritual strength is this Bala. It's the manifestation of Lord Balarama's mercy. When Lord Balarama's mercy comes to us, that is what is called spiritual strength. And it gives us the strength to actually overcome our anarthas. So on this day, if we don't do anything else, we have to just at least do this, is to pray to Balaram, saying, please remove, we are preparing for Janmashtami. What is the meaning of Janmashtami? The meaning of Janmashtami is to let Krishna manifest in our heart. But is our heart prepared? Ready? The heart is not ready. We have to prepare our heart. And for the preparation of our heart, we need Balaram's mercy. We need Guru's mercy. So we have to pray to Balaram on this day, saying, I have, at least I can speak about myself, so much of anarthas in my heart. So please, please, please take away all these anarthas. Now we have to be very careful in this prayer. How does Krishna take away our anarthas? How does Krishna take away our anarthas? So there are generally two ways. First way is that we hear through Shravanam, then we develop some desire, saying that I want to get over this anartha, get over that anartha. But sometimes even beyond our desires, we are not able to overcome anarthas. Especially if that is the case post-initiation. Pre-initiation is safe period. It's like the trial period. You can somewhat do mistakes. But post-initiation, especially if a devotee is surrendered, if a devotee actually properly got surrendered to Guru and took initiation, what happens? Because what happens at initiation? All the karma phala is destroyed. Karmani nirdhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. All the karma phala is destroyed. But then, what about the anarthas? How will the anarthas go? So, Krishna manifests whatever was there originally in our karma phala. He manifests those in the lives of devotees. So it appears, so you go to astrologer, tell him I'm going through serious trouble. He sees your Janma Kundali and says, yes, yes, yes. I'm seeing suffering in your. Actually, that's not this suffering. This is Krishna's special mercy. Krishna's special mercy that he is giving us all this trouble to just clean up the anarthas. So that's why I said, be careful when you pray for this. See, a surrendered devotee, he only sees Krishna's mercy in his life, irrespective whether it is he's happy or in distress. A devotee only sees everything as Krishna's mercy. How many of us here want pure devotional service? See, what is the meaning of pure devotional service? Pure devotional service means Anyavilashita Shunyam. How will this become Shunyam? These anarthas have to go. Now, on one end, we are praying, I want pure devotional service. Then, when we get into trouble, what do? We go and stand in front of Krishna and say, Krishna, please take me out of trouble. So, we are contradicting ourselves. On one end, we are saying we want pure devotional service. On the other end, when Krishna is actually cleaning us, we are saying, stop. Please don't clean me. So we have to be clear. See, when we go to Krishna, or we don't go and make all these prayers to Krishna, saying, Krishna, leave me alone. I'll come at my speed. Baladev Vidyabhushan talks about 3 types of devotees. Vidwan Balaram Prabhu speaks about this all the time. Swanishta, Parinishtita, and Nirapeksha. Swanishta is a devotee who is a Mishra Bhakta, mixed devotion, meaning not Anyavilashita Shunyam. Little bit Anyavilasha required. So it's called mixed devotion. Now this Swanishta Bhakta takes multiple lifetimes to perfect. If he wants to perfect, he'll take multiple lifetimes. But there is this Parinishtita Bhakta. Parinishtita Bhakta, he at the end of this, he gives up this body, then he goes back to Krishna. But this Parinishtita Bhakta is that pure devotee, or who wants to become pure devotee. Which means he's really, really determined to take out all the nonsense in the heart. He will pray like this. And at the end of this life, he can go back to Krishna. And then there is Nirapeksha, who are, great brahmacharis, sannyasis, who can go anytime. They're ready. We have to ask all these brahmacharis to bless us, have fallen grihasthas. So they are ready to go anytime. Nirapeksha. So we have to decide, do we want to be Swanishta, we want to be Parinishtita, Nirapeksha anyway. KOK. What is KOK? Krishna only knows. We don't know. Right? As in, it's far away. But at least we should desire today saying whether I want to be Swanishtita or Parinishtita. If you want Swanishta or Parinishtita, if you want to be Parinishtita, today is the day. Today is the day. We have to pray to Balaram. And Balaram he has what? He has all kinds of instruments. I told you, plow. Plow pulls out any things which are difficult to pull out also, right? So he'll pull out. But we have to be ready for it. That is why the most important thing in devotion is to be in the association of well-wishing, similar-minded devotees. Please note, there are two important qualities. They have to be our well-wishers. And they have to be similar-minded. Now, what does similar-minded mean? Similar-minded means that, for example, I am crazy. That's what everybody tells me. So I'm not thinking that yes, I'm crazy. Because I try to follow very strictly everything. Right? Now, if somebody who is not like me comes and associates with me, he will go crazy. Correct? So when devotees come to me and say, Prabhu, I want your association, I say, sure? Are you sure? So we have to have association with similar-minded devotees, so that if somebody is whatever nature, we should have, so that they don't keep taunting us, saying, hey, why are you not doing this? Why are you doing? You need to be in a little bit environment which also enthuses you, right? If too much strictness is too heavy for you, then you should not get into that kind of environment. You should know your nature. But if you are the type who are strict, don't get into very easy-going environment also. So you have to find your association. Like-minded, but they have to be also our well-wishers. Because see, what happens in the life of a devotee is he goes through a lot of difficulties. Devotee goes through a lot of difficulties because that is a cleaning process. And when we are going through all this cleaning, who is the one who is going to help us? Pull us, be with us, is those devotee friends of ours. That's why in one lecture I was hearing, saying that make sure that you have good devotee relations. At the end, they are the ones who can be the reason for us to go back to Godhead. Why? Who's going to come near us when we are dying? Is those friends. Wherever they are, they're saying, oh, I want to go because that devotee is in distress. I know one, god brother of mine who went through real difficulty, very young person. He was maybe 30 years. He left his body in Mayapur, so a couple of 2-3 years back. And there's one devotee friend who did A to Z of everything for the devotee. He was actually passing urine stool, everything on the bed. And this devotee just went and was there to do everything. And he reminded him of Krishna at the time of leaving his body. And this devotee was singing Radha Krishna Pranamora Yugalakeshwara just one day before his death, before he left his body. So we understand there are so many instances, right? We have to understand that it's only these devotees who can help us. So we should be in the mood to serve these devotees, because otherwise, it's a mutual relationship, right, of love. Love in Krishna consciousness means service. There is no love in material world means demanding. Give me this, give me that. In love in spiritual circles means service. So we serve them with love, they serve us with love, and this friendship is what is going to help us, right? So pray to Balaram. Make sure that you have good protection. That's the only way, actually. Otherwise, there is no, otherwise we can just take it easy. Balaram, your bala is too much for me, I will come to you. I have not made up my mind yet. But if you are ready, today is the day. Okay, so I think I'm time out, right? 4 minutes. I didn't discuss pastimes at all. There's so many beautiful past. Okay, just one thing I want to say. Skiing? How many of you know skiing? Skiing. What is skiing? Where do you ski? Snow. Krishna and Balaram had one more type of skiing. Cow dung skiing. We will open one new. Nowadays all kinds of games are coming. Some paintball, this, that. We will open one more cow dung skiing, which is what Krishna and Balaram used to do. What is their, what is their skiing? How do they ski? Holding on to tails of calves. Tail of calves. Right? So like this, Krishna and Balaram did so many beautiful pastimes. Anyway, I don't have time. So just one thing. Mm, mm, Dhenukasura. In this Dhenukasura, I was saying, in Dhenukasura pastime, why Balaram became, actually, these boys are very smart. There are three boys who are as powerful physically as Krishna and Balaram in Vrajalila. One is Subala, Stoka Krishna, and Sridham, mostly if I'm not wrong. Sridham, Subala, and Stoka Krishna. They can compete with Krishna and Balaram in physical strength. So these boys come and they want to trigger Balaram, right? They want this Dhenukasura to be killed. So one of them calls Balaram as, "Oh, long-armed hero." Okay, so in Sanskrit there'll be some nice description, but in English it's called long-armed hero. And then Jiva Goswami says, what is a long-armed hero means? That he had long arms and very powerful arms, which means that he was very powerful. So these boys are taunting Balaram. You have so much of strength, you have not shown your strength at all. Balaram actually becomes angry. He becomes angry and then he says, you want to see my strength? And then he goes to Thalavan and he just shakes up all the trees there. Bhagavatam describes differently. Then, here he shakes up all the trees and then all the fruits fall down. What does Balaram do? He crushes all the fruits, so much anger. Like an elephant, he crushes all the fruits. Once all of this is done, then more opportunity to display his anger. Who came? Dhenukasura came. You want to cow? Then Dhenukasura kicks him from his hind legs. Balaram and Krishna are laughing. They're laughing, and Jiva Goswami is saying, Balaram did not even feel the kick of Dhenukasura. And then he says, hey, somebody's come here. Who's this donkey? That's all, over. So, like this, Balaram in different pastimes, he manifests. One is manifesting his Vatsalya, and another is manifesting. Another, actually, I had some, 15 minutes would have been wonderful. There's one very beautiful, sweet interaction between Krishna and Balaram before Balaram comes to Vraja. Very nice. You can read this because we don't have time. It's in Gopala Champu. Before Balaram comes to Vraja, the conversation that happens between Krishna and Balaram. Why I wanted to read this is actually the inner mood of Balaram. The inner mood of Balaram. When Krishna is in Dwaraka, Krishna is feeling separation from Brajavasis because Brajavasis are suffering. This description that literally Yashoda and Nanda, Yashoda literally became like a statue. She just is not doing anything. So much of distress and pain, and there are messengers going up and down between Dwaraka and Braj, and they are coming and telling Krishna and Balaram, and both Krishna and Balaram are in distress. They're in utter distress. And Balaram is telling Krishna, Krishna, you go. You told them that you're going to come back. Right? And you're putting them through so much suffering. You go. Krishna is saying, no, I can't go. I have responsibility here to fulfill. Balaram is saying, no, I will take care of it. You go. No, he's saying, no, Vasu, my parents will not allow me to go. So Krishna is literally crying in front of Balaram. And both Krishna and Balaram have tears in their eyes. We can understand. Uh, we say that Krishna is Atma Rama. What is Atma Rama? Where is Krishna self-satisfied? Krishna is self-satisfied only outside Goloka. It could be in Vaikuntha, it could be in the material world. But in Goloka, Krishna is not self-satisfied. He is crying. He is not even Apta Kama. All his desires are just fulfilled by himself. No, he's crying. And Balaram is giving his shoulder to Krishna. And Balaram is encouraging Krishna. Krishna, you should go, you should go. Finally, Balaram just loses it. He loses his patience. And then he says, Krishna, you're not going, I'm going. So then Balaram goes to Rohini Mata Maya and takes permission. And he goes, and there's a very beautiful conversation that happens during this, just before Balaram leaves to Braja. Anyway, I wanted to bring that out to just show what is the inner mode of Krishna and Balaram. Right? Well, Krishna is serving, Balaram is serving Krishna, but Krishna's heart is in Vrindavan. And Balaram is all the time helping Krishna outside Vrindavan, helping Krishna, coaxing Krishna, pushing Krishna to go back to Vraja. And then finally, Balaram comes back and says he's going to come back very soon. Balaram comes and tells Vrajavasis he's going to come back soon. And then Krishna decides saying that after killing Dantavakra, then he comes to Vraja. So anyway, so there's so many beautiful interactions. So main thing for us is this mood of devotion, the mood of devotion, right? And we have to enter this mood of devotion. We can enter this mode of devotion only when we stop doing mechanical bhakti. We should stop doing devotion mechanically. Unfortunately, and we should read Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is our answer for all our questions. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. What happens? Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Abhadreshu. All this, whatever is there in our heart, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, our lack of taste for devotion, all this will be gone by daily seva of Bhagavatam. Right? And only when we do this, we can say, okay, we will chant, but our chanting today might be just full of nama aparadha. Right? That's not going to clean our heart. It's going to clean, but it's going to take time. The fastest way, if somebody wants to know the fastest way to clean your heart, is to just simply read Bhagavatam at least 4 hours in a day. How many hours? Who said this? My life's experience, right? It's very, very powerful. It's very powerful. The minimum amount of time to study is what? Every day? 1 hour, isn't it, Prabhu? What is recommended? 1 hour? 1 hour. Minimum is 1 hour. But if you want steroids, do 4 hours. It's very, very powerful because it actually has its direct association with Krishna, and we don't, our mind doesn't waver when we are hearing. Of course, if we have desire, if we have taste for Shravanam, reading Bhagavatam, if you don't have taste, what should we do? Mahat Sevaya Vipra, serve devotees who have taste. Serve devotees who have taste, then you will develop taste for reading Bhagavatam. And if you develop taste for reading Bhagavatam, automatically, by that association, constant association with Krishna, our heart will become pure. And this chanting will then start to make sense, meaning we will actually start chanting. Today, we are mechanical chanting, right? Actually, it's better what we do is the day we chant without sleeping, record that. And other days just play it. Because no guarantee, next day we are chanting, we might be sleeping. So record your chanting when you are awake and play it next day. Because we are not putting our heart into chanting at all. Right? And the only way that can awaken is by Nityam Bhagavata Seva. And for all this we need spiritual strength, and that's Balaram, and that's Guru. Okay, so with this I'll stop. So much more to be discussed, but I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments, senior devotees are here. Any comments you can please make. Okay, all satisfied? Okay, nice. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhaktarunda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank His Grace Narayan Prabhu for a wonderful class. So many of you know about Prabhuji. So Prabhuji gave us very high-paying job, both Prabhuji and Mataji, and they are doing immense preaching in Hulimabu there. And a lot of time in absorption in scriptures and preaching. There's a very good examples of Grasta life, that how doing all responsibility, the time, a devotee dedicating the life to spiritual master while living in family life. So we thank him one time chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,